What's up? I apologize. I knew it was going to get like this if it didn't fill. And I almost posted earlier and said, look, if it's not full by like 7:38, we're not going to break it. But sometimes when I do that, I feel like you guys, I don't want to come off like I'm pressuring. Like, you guys got to fill this. I don't like to do that. That's never my intention. But I knew it was going to be tough because we had wrestling pictures at 7 o'clock. Why do they schedule wrestling pictures for elementary kids starting at 7? So we didn't get out of there till 8 o'clock, 8:30. And then we get home. And listen, I don't know about you guys. I don't know if any of you guys have garages. But we have a 2-car garage, blessed with a 2-car garage. And I think we've parked our cars in there maybe a half a dozen times since we've moved into this house 5 years ago. And twice have been this year because of the snowstorms. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to be up anyhow. And then I hate to not give, especially on multi-year time for trades. But hey, you know what? That's why we record them all. Speaking of which, I'm going to hit record. That's why we record them all. And you know what? I don't mind being up late to break for you guys. I just feel bad for those of you who are like, damn it, Mike. So it wasn't like it posted late either. It did post at 1 o'clock. So I feel a little less bad when I know it was posted for a while. But hey, we filled it. You guys did awesome. And we got 2 $5 hitless credits to go with it. We're actually going to hold that for a minute. We're going to start with, I'm excited for this mix actually. At 22 a spot, it's a low risk, high reward opportunity. And I don't know what the plan is for tomorrow, but I can tell you Wednesday's going to be at least a series one day. Oh, too late for the kids? It is. Well, listen, I will tell you this. My kids didn't play basketball this year, and I'm glad. They said some of the elementary basketball practice this year started at 8 and 8:30. Let me tell you this. If I would have signed up, I was like, sorry, we ain't coming. My kids are everyone thinks this is crazy. Now, I wouldn't make them go to bed this early, but my wife does. They got to stay up tonight because we already have a 2-hour delay tomorrow, and I have a feeling they're going to have off. But they already called a 2-hour delay. I think they want to see if the snow lands. Like, there's reports for up to over a foot of snow, and then there's reports that are like, it could be an inch, just depending on when and where it hits and what the temperature is. So they called a 2-hour delay. And so the kids did get to stay up late. They were up playing Fortnite. Well, we were prepping. Oh, anyhow, I started telling you about, there's a Jordan Love, garages. So when we thought the snowstorm was done. So we had cleared out the garage and got it all, we had cleared out, got our cars put in it. But then that's where our trash goes. There's a cool Comet, our like cardboard, not our trash. Like our cardboard and stuff like that. What a play that was last night. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So anyhow, and then, of course the groundhog saw a shadow or didn't see a shadow, however it works. And so he was, early spring. My wife was about in tears. She's like, this is bullshit. We're supposed to be done. Will McDonald for the Jets. Devontae Adams. I'm like, yeah, well, it is a groundhog, Lauren, just to be clear. It's not always right. We got Mekhi Blackman for the Vikings out of $3.99. That's a nice Jordan Love there. Oh, I see squirrels in my sleep, man. I can't even get a good night's sleep. My watch told me that. I started wearing my watch to bed, and it was like, are you okay? You wake up, it's like, did you sleep? No. It's like just dreaming all night. There's a Natron Means numbered out of $3.99. Yours are in bed by 7:30, Jeff? That's how my wife is like 7 o'clock they go up. Now, as Paxton gets older, that we let him stay up a little more, but unfortunately we forget Cohen's still so young. Out of $5.99, Mark Ripien. And there's a triple with a Jim Kelly. So anyhow, Wednesday's going to be Series 1 day. We're going to do probably a hobby case. I'm probably going to split it up into 2 half cases. But also, I'm working on a nice prize package for basketball so we can do a fantasy league, including an Anthony Edwards autographed basketball, amongst some really other cool stuff. So I'm talking about like hobby boxes of Revolution. I have like a 10 autograph Leaf auto box. So it'll be a nice little mix of prizes. So we're going to start giving away those for basketball breaks. And then also, Don, I saw you post a cool picture. I'll go back to my story. But Don, I saw you post a similar image of Cash a few years ago with his celebration photo. And then I think it was from this weekend. That was so cool to see that you've been able to track that. It is cool seeing him grow in wrestling. You know, we see him. There's an Anthony Richardson out of $3.99. You get to see your kids grow up through photos right in front of your eyes, but you don't see it happening. You just don't. You know that. You have kids, you don't see them grow up. Till you look at pictures, you're like, holy shit, that was 2 years ago. And then you're like, man, they grew up and we didn't even see it. But I'll say it is cool during wrestling. We get to see them grow up talent-wise right in front of your eyes, doing moves they didn't do the week before and then doing it. You know, watching them go through losses and then coming back to win, you know, and looking like a different kid, dealing with loss differently, dealing with victory differently. Out of $2.99, Josh Jacobs. So that's really cool. I like that. He was quiet. I mean, listen, the fact that, not to get, again, I'm off topic. I am seeing a lot of squirrels tonight. The fact that Patrick Mahomes won MVP of the Super Bowl, but he really won that in fourth and overtime. Because up till then, he did not have a good game. But no one else really stepped up for the Chiefs at all. If it would have been a Niners win, it was going to Jawan Jennings, and I don't think it was even close. Kevin Byard out of 99 for the Titans. But I wanted to ask you guys what you thought about that game. What did you guys think all around of the Super Bowl? I thought that there was definitely a miss, intentional grounding. You know, they called the one, they missed a big one. Kyler Murray out of 249. Franchise favorites Dan Marino. But they missed a big one. Other than that, though, and there could have been other missed calls. They were the two the only missed call I saw was really that intentional grounding. Out of 199, Jim McMahon. And a Christian McCaffrey heroes. But I thought the game was good. I thought it felt like the Niners played 3.5 really good quarters. And then they just kind of were like, we're good. I didn't quite get what happened to them, if they just got tired. Missed the illegal man downfield on the trick play. Did they? It very well could have. I had the sound down a lot, Felton, but I thought the game was called really well. You can't sit there and be like, the refs blew this game. The Chiefs just played for the entire game, and the Niners didn't. They let up one, but I mean, is Patrick Mahomes not the greatest quarterback in the league without a doubt? I mean, there's just no arguing it. I don't care what anyone says. Like right now, it's like you can argue who the second best is. But like, if anyone's trying to argue that he's not the best, well, they don't watch football. Was he, Felton? I didn't even watch highlights of the game today. I watched a lot of the game. I really did. I had it on while I was like getting ready for breaks and stuff too, but a lot of it I was watching during breaks as well. So I'm sure I missed. Shanahan might not know how to hold a league. I do feel bad for Niners fans. I mean that, but I feel like, listen, I don't feel so bad to the fact that I think they're going to be back next year. I saw some preseason like team rankings coming out, and I see the Ravens are ranked really high, and I'm thinking, I don't see it. I think they had a great season, but they lost one of their best coaches. They're going to have some issues with players leaving. Sounds like Zay Flowers might be in some trouble. It's interesting. So I don't put the Ravens up there, but it's hard to not after a season like that. Adrian Claiborne for the Bucks, 490 out of 499. Rookie die cut. I love me some Crown Royal, man. I'm mad they don't make this anymore. They do. Yeah, the refs. Listen, I always say this, John. I said this in the Chiefs-Bills game. There were some missed calls, but standard deviation. Like, there was nothing in the Chiefs-Bills game to be like, oh, the refs blew that game. I don't think there was enough in that game last night for either team to say, oh, the refs controlled that game. You know, for a year where I feel like there were a lot of poorly officiated games, I feel like they did a nice job in most of the playoff games, especially the championship games. Stephen Paella, and oh, look at this, my boy Tyrod, one of my favorite Bills players of all time. He's the one I don't have a jersey of. I was looking for one the other day. Probably my third favorite Bills quarterback of all time. It's Josh Allen, and we got Doug Flutie, and then we got Tyrod Taylor. Finally, Doug Flutie's been taken over as my favorite. That's out of 50. Baltimore Ravens going out to Bob Riley. I have one of those in my PC just because I love Tyrod. But yeah, the heavy favorites have to be the Chiefs going in, and I'm going to tell you why. I felt like this was the worst I've seen the Chiefs play all season, and they still won the Super Bowl. Or all, like, over the last 4 years, and they still won the Super Bowl. How are they not the instant favorite? You know, it's hard to not have them. Arian Foster, All-Pro. Noshawn Moreno. Josh Freeman. Stevie Johnson. I got his autograph at a Bills game once. And Kings of the NFL, Matt Ryan. And this is probably going to be game worn. That's one thing I do love about these cards. And guys, if you go to shows and you know what you have and you mark this stuff game worn, you'd be shocked how much people will pay for game worn stuff. Because it's getting harder and harder. Well, and you know what? It goes to show you, Felton, you have to have a well-rounded team. You know? And that's why, Josh Allen's going to take a $22 million restructure this year. He's going to take a $22 million restructure this year so we can get our team in order. And I think that's why we'll be okay. Right now on the paper, we look like we're going to have to make some crazy adjustments. That is going to be Mikel LaSure, Crown Royal rookies. And Kyle Rudolph, rookie auto die cut out of 25. Love me some Rudolph. Man, that's a good box of Crown. Love me some Crown, man. I'm telling you. Minnesota Vikings, Don Wiley. Loved Kyle Rudolph. Great tight end. This goes out to the Vikings out of 25. Yeah, that's what I mean. He's just restructuring and yep. That's I've heard the argument there's no such thing as a salary cap. Well, I disagree with that. I disagree with there's no such thing as salary cap because some stuff just has to go to the cap, right? It just does. However, these GMs have gotten smarter, just like baseball GMs have. Look at what they're doing with Ohtani's contract and these big contracts with deferred money 20 years down the road. They learned that from watching how our world operates. I know. We have quite a ways to get to the draft, and I don't want to rush it, but I do. I don't mind rushing to the draft and to the schedule release. I like that. And then I'm like, I'm okay rushing even the preseason because that's like that. I don't even like that because that's like end of summer. So like once the draft happens, I'm like, all right, it can slow roll itself. I don't want to wish summer away. I like I said earlier, and I know people are going to hate me for this, Ravens fans, but I think the Ravens don't make the playoffs next year. Unless they do something miraculous and bring in some crazy pieces or draft like extremely well. I just think, and even like, I think Harbaugh's all but admitted like this was our year. This was our chance. I mean, he pretty much came out and said that. Now, again, Lamar won MVP twice. He's good enough to carry a team, clearly. Austin Stogner out of 25. But I think they're in trouble. I think that there are a lot of teams that can be really good next year. But I think your teams to watch are going to be like, the Lions again. Like, what are they going to... I know a lot of people want to say the Browns. With Nick Chubb, a healthy Deshaun Watson, bringing in some of their receivers. Only thing I'll say is you better hope you get a different version of Ken Dorsey. The Ken Dorsey we were promised because I know they're excited about him. Good luck. Austin Stogner is going to get random. Tyler Shuck is going to get random as well. That's out of 50. The Texans are interesting. Are you saying team will turn around as the Eagles or they'll drop off? Because they dropped off at the end of the year. I think people are expecting them to do poorly. They have guys asking for trades and to seek trades and go into free agency. Javon Baker, man, we are going to have ourselves a NIL box, and this is 2021. Now, this is what I'm saying. Some of these guys, again, this was during COVID, so a lot of these guys got options to redshirt, not injuries. Eagles won't make the playoffs. I mean, the thing is that East is going to be tough. Tyler Davis out of 99. Are we going to get like a full NIL box? Green Bay Packers. Tyler Davis for the Green Bay Packers going out to Dougie. Tampa isn't nearly as good. Well, that's a question. Where does Baker Mayfield go? So I heard reports possibly going to New England. Baker Mayfield to New England. I heard Ryan Tannehill to the Pittsburgh Steelers today. Did you guys see that report? That could be interesting. Jarrett Patterson out of 35. I believe that is going to be Minnesota, but I'm going to double check. Yeah, Tampa could fall off. Although I like their running back, and I like they need to keep someone like Baker in there. What are the Falcons going to do? They're switching up. This actually goes out to the Chargers. He was at the Buffalo. Let me see where his last active team. Chargers. He was with the Washington, went to the Chargers, back to the Commanders, then back to the Chargers. This actually goes, he was never once on the Vikings. Yeah, what about the Broncos? All right, we turn it around now. There we go. K-Dub out of 99 going out to Seattle. Mike Haralambous. Yeah, Jonathan, you're exactly right. And we got Chris in here to talk about that. And the fact that you just said what you said is even bigger. A domino effect. Right now, they said they want, if they even just want to trade down to 2, they want at least multiple first-round picks, which I'm assuming that means Washington's first this year, plus a first next year, meaning they're swapping 2 for 1. They want their first next year and things in addition. I would hope they don't want 2 to swap and 2 additional first-round picks to move up 1 pick. That would be absurd. And for the Niners, out of 50, Joe Montana going out to Bobby LaBouffe. I think that is going to be, I mean, it's hard to say. I wish I would have watched him play college more, but I've read enough about him. I wouldn't touch Caleb. If he fell to my team, I don't want him. I just don't want that. Unless you are so desperate for a quarterback and you don't mind dealing with like the stuff around it, then yeah. But I just think the Bears got to go Marvin Harrison Jr. That's what they need. That and an offensive, like they need some offensive linemen. Yeah, but here's the thing. I just don't. I mean, is Washington or another team gonna call the Chicago's bluff? Is the question, and say, we know you're not taking Caleb Williams. We know you're not. So go ahead, pick who you're gonna pick, but we're not giving you extra for him. But I think that would be dumb. Could you imagine, just out of pure principle, not wanting to pay Fields, and they're like, all right, we'll start over with Caleb Williams on a rookie contract, when you draft him and then he's like, I don't want to play for Chicago. I already told you that. I'm not playing. Like, he tries the whole sit-out method, which he could do. You know, I don't know how it works now. You used to, once you declared for the draft, once you got an agent, you couldn't go back to college. Now with NIL rules and stuff, could he get drafted and then decide I'm going back? Well, I just heard another report, not the old one, another one that came out. He was repeating that. Again, until it comes out of his mouth, I'm with you, Chris. I don't believe it until he comes out and says it. Until there's a report or a quote directly from him, I'm not buying these. I don't. It's just that there's too much news clickbait crap anymore. I'm with you, Felton. I think every Bears fan should beg that happens. Keep Fields, draft Harrison Jr., get a tackle. I think that team is a totally different team. There's for the Vikings. And for the Ravens, BJ Ojulari out of 25. Gonna confirm that, though. These are such nice cards. Oh, Colin Coward, and I don't like that dude. See, I didn't even know where the report came from. Chris killing it with these chrome cups, man. Oh, this is actually the Cardinals. Excuse me. Let me write Arizona in there because I'm always thinking he's... And that's going to go out to Adam D. And keep the same coaching staff. That's another thing. Dude, and this is the worst. I hear it from Bills fans, and I'm going to use the word fans lightly. I'm talking newer Bills fans who weren't around for the rough years, and they're like, fire McDermott, fire. Like, look, we all agreed Dorsey had to go. But people are like, oh, McDermott can't win in the playoffs, fire him. I'm like, shut the fuck up. You have no idea. Before McDermott, we didn't win. We didn't get to the playoffs. McDermott got us there even without Allen. Like, it was McDermott before Allen. He brought in what we have now, him and Bean. So listen, they've been to the playoffs 5 years straight. I don't care who he played in the playoffs. I don't care who he lost to. The fact is, it is not easy to go to the playoffs 5 years in a row. Not a lot of teams do it. The great teams do. But don't tell me we're going to fire a coach as long as we're making the playoffs. Zay Flowers out of 25. That one is the Baltimore Ravens. That's a Bob Riley. John Elway was always the problem. Cousins staying or going? Man, is Cousins just done? Does Cousins need to just hang it up? And how about a one-of-one Smoking Guns? Jeremy Wilson with the New Orleans Saints. You got yourself a Jake Haener. Smoking Guns, 1-of-1. On card auto. Anybody guess Jake Haener? That'll play. That was a nice box, a wild card. Here's another team. Let's stay in the North. What do you guys think now that we saw a year of Jordan Love? What do you guys think of the Green Bay Packers? What do you guys think of the Green Bay Packers for next year? Busted out the bottom. Packers looked good this year. They had let's put it this way. they had their moments. Malik Cunningham out of 8 for the Baltimore. Oh, actually, it goes to New England. It goes to Jersey on these. We've said it before. And a Pro Look uni, it goes to their Pro Look jersey. We made that clear before. Malik Cunningham going out to the New England Patriots on this one. Jason Franklin out of 8. Christian Watson needs to get healthy. If running game is healthy, do they keep both Aaron Jones and what's his name? Cameron Peoples for the Carolina Panthers out of 25. Going out to Tay Taylor. That's a cool looking card. That looks so good with these sparkles in that star. I don't know if you can catch it on the camera. The parallels in this are fantastic. Probably my favorite parallel set non-Panini we've ever seen. A.J. Dillon, thank you. Adetomiwa Adebawore. Golly, I'm going to have to look him up again. It's late. You're going to have to forgive me. I know we pulled him a bunch. And that one's going to be out of 4. It's going to go out to the Colts. So I don't forget. I mean, listen, here's another thing. The Cowboys just continue to double down. They're keeping McCarthy, right? They're going to bring in a few more supplemental coaching staffs, big names. They're probably going to add some pieces. They have a great wide receiver core. It just really comes down to I think this is a make or break thing for Dak. Like, and it's not just with the Cowboys. Like, if he can't get it done with this team, is he going to be able to? Gavarius Owens. Remember, and now I'll be saying the same thing about Josh Allen in 2 years because Dak has 2 years on Josh. This goes out to the Giants, New York Giants. Out of 10. But, like, he scared you in the playoffs, Luke. You're ready to have him on your team. Yeah, I mean that has got to be Kansas City's number one thing they need to work on. Because listen, I know y'all love Kelsey, and I don't blame you. He has been like you know, the Gronk, Brady, and you got Kelsey and Mahomes. But is it getting to be that time? I mean, he was thinking about retiring, and now it's like I wanted the three-peat. You know, it could get ugly if he's not playing well. He might assault Andy Reid a couple more times. Jarek Reed for the Seattle Seahawks going out to Mike Haralambous. Another nice parallel out of 25. Man, they can bring in Calvin Ridley. Woo-hoo-hoo! That'd be wild. Mekhi Blackman out of 35. That's a bookend 35 out of 35 for the Vikings. Don, that's going to go out with your... we pulled a nice short print of him too, didn't we? Oh, we did. Well, you got that Noah Gray. You don't like him? He can catch the ball. That Noah Gray's pretty good, isn't he? And Jack Campbell for the Detroit Lions. Frank Bernathi, Frank the Tank. 11 out of 25. We could have a big name here. It is going to be a 2 out of 3 Minnesota Vikings. Big break for the Vikings. I think Gray's solid. Dude, there were times he looked like Travis Kelce in that game. Like, the commentators even said, oh, Kelce over the middle. Like, wait, that was Noah Gray. I thought it was him the way he was running, his size. We just pulled a McConkey last night. A McConkey, what's his name? Ladd? Is that who you're talking about? Or is that someone different? Ladd McConkey? We pulled his autograph last night, I think. I didn't... All right, not a bad break at all. Yeah, we pulled him last night, and in that keepsake stuff. That keepsake box, those boxes have been good. All right, let's recap it. Let's give 2 $5 hitless credits, and we actually do have some NIL cards to random up. Let me roll a dice for this one quick. 1, 2 to the left, 3, 4 to the middle, 5, 6 to the right, 1 roll. It's going to be a 5. It's going to be Lawrence, Simmons, and Rashawn Gary. Yeah, I mean, Mahomes definitely needs... Pacheco's a beast. They can just rely on Pacheco. Just run him into the ground. I did hear an interesting take, and I've been saying this for a while. My brother seems to disagree with me, but I heard a take on this on XM Radio the other day. I'll say it after I update these. Byard out of 99. We had a Herbert and McCaffrey Heroes and Anthony Richardson out of 399. I heard him say the running back position is going to be in trouble in the future because these young guys are learning that it doesn't pay, and you're going to start to possibly see some of these guys just be like, I'm good. I'm going to convert to be a wide receiver. I'm going to convert to be a cornerback. I'm going to convert to, I'll try my hand at like another position. I do not want to bust my ass for a 6-year career and get one of the lowest league paying offensive positions, the lowest offensive position. So I think that's going to be interesting. As I say about Pacheco, he's a great running back, power runner, but we don't have to reserve for running backs anymore as of right now. They're all over the place. So don't save them. You run Pacheco into the ground. It didn't really work, but that was against the Niners D, and you know how good that D was. The fact that they could produce against that D. I had Niners winning. It was nothing against the Chiefs, really, honestly. I had the Niners winning 31-17 because I just thought the defense was going to do what they did in that first quarter, the whole game. And that was before the game started. I was like, this is how I predicted it. It was just the Niners couldn't get that offense going. And the Chiefs D is good. The Niners needed to be better on offense, and they just weren't. It felt like they were so focused on D. That was just my little bit of take from the game, but... All right, here we go. We got this is game used for the Atlanta Falcons, John Stevener. Out of Tamiwa, out of Bawore for the Indianapolis Colts, going out to Matt Runyons. I did not bet on the game, though. I said from the start is that I don't, it's to the point where I don't bet against the Chiefs, just like I didn't bet against the New England Patriots, and I don't bet on the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills is more of a heart thing. But I just learned not to bet against... You just don't bet against the Chiefs. You just do not do it. Not until they give you a reason to. And it's like, for a while, it was like the Yankees in baseball and the Pats in football. And now it's the Chiefs in football. You just don't. Carolina Panthers, Tate Taylor, Cameron Peoples. That's going to be out of 25. Malik Cunningham for the New England Patriots, going out to Jason Franklin. Yeah, and I think that's the point. People are like, you're going to see it in the draft. You're going to see more and more running backs fall. But, who was it that was taken early? Oh, Jahmyr Gibbs. A difference maker, a pass catcher, an explosive dude like Gibbs. I think you'll still see them go early, but it's going to be few and far between you see running backs go that early, I think. Charbonnet going out to the Seahawks. Harold Lambus out of 15. We had the B.J. Ojulari for the Cardinals going out to Adam D. Appreciate you guys coming and talking football. It's nice to talk football. Now that the season's over, we can kind of hit the reset button. This is going to be Jaron Hall for the Minnesota Vikings. It is nice to hit the reset button and be like, all right, season's over. Time to start thinking of next year. Another one for Mike and the Seahawks out of 99, Kenneth Walker. And for the Chargers, Jarrett Patterson going out to Matt McGinn. We got ourselves Tyler Davis for the Green Bay Packers going out to Dougie Berger. Jack Campbell for the Detroit Lions going out to Bernath. Minnesota Vikings, Mekhi Blackman out of 35. And another one for the Seahawks. Man, Seahawks and Vikings all over in this out of 25. Javarius Owens for the New York Giants going out to Julian Andrews. Is Andrews a Giants fan too? And rookie Tyrod Taylor, Baltimore Ravens. We could see him yet. Didn't he say he still wanted to play? And then Adrian Claiborne for the Tampa Bay Bucks. Cool name for Christine there. And then the one-of-one Jake Hayner, Smoking Guns for the New Orleans Saints going out to Jeremy Wilson. For a $22 break, we hit a lot of teams. We had the Zay Flowers for the Baltimore Ravens out of 25. For the San Francisco 49ers, Bobby LaBouffe with the Joe Montana. It is Joe Montana week here. And how about a pair of Vikings to close it out? Addison out of 3. rookie and die cut Kyle Rudolph rookie out of 25, both for the Minnesota Vikings. All right, let's see what we're going to do here. It's going to go like this. Baker, Stogner, Schuck. And then we'll do the hit list credits. Everyone eligible for these. Yeah, but we won the regular season Super Bowl against the Chiefs, Luke. I know Chiefs fans love to joke about that. I was like, oh, congratulations on your Super Bowl. I'm like, it's still a good win. It's still a good win. We'll take it. Right now, that I'll accept that's probably the truth. There'll be a time. Like the year we lose against the Chiefs in the regular season is when I get excited. I'm like, all right, cool. We got the loss out of the way. Let's meet them in the playoffs now. We just, like, that's what I said. We just can't let it get to that. It's why I root against the Chiefs before we get to them. I'm like, nah, I don't play them. The what's cute is, like, that's who the Dolphins are to us, right? Except they can't beat us in the regular season either. Tennessee Titans getting this one. So, like, they're always like, they root against us in the playoffs, but I'm like, dude, why are you worried about us? You can't even beat us in the regular season. Like, worry about someone else. Worry about, like, the Steelers. You always seem close to them. Austin Stogner, next up. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow. I want to throw something up. It might even be a one-boxer or something just to have a little fun during the day. But I do want to get, especially if we have a snow day, but I do want to get Baseball Series 1 pre-sold a little bit. It's going to be the Niners on that one. Bobby LaBouffe. And then the Tyler Schuck. But I appreciate you guys jumping in. I love hanging out. It got me excited. I was like, lately it's been pretty quiet in the chat. But man, I do love talking off-season football. I really do. And we talked about him the whole time. Why not close talking about him? Kansas City Chiefs with the Schuck. Going out to Jeff Kellington. Now we'll do 2 $5 hit list credits. Here we go. Needs to be at least a 5. Yeah, I want to get some contests going. That's what I said. I set out prizes today. Wow, we hit 17 teams in that break with the bonuses. I set out some prizes for a basketball fantasy league today. I'm going to get one for a baseball. We got to get something like that going. Cowboys and the Bengals each winning 5. So Dom Wiley and Brent Derrick each winning $5 credit for a future break. All right, guys. Appreciate the chat. Appreciate your patience. Appreciate you jumping in. Love the fam. It was a fun break. Some cool stuff. See you tomorrow.